For the past few months, I've been having the same recurring nightmare. It always starts the same way. I'm in this old, abandoned house. The air is thick with the smell of damp earth and decay. Sunlight struggles to push through grimy, boarded-up windows, casting long, distorted shadows across the peeling wallpaper. It feels like a place that's been forgotten by time, a place where secrets are buried deep. In the dream, I'm never alone. There are children. Different kids every night, but they all have the same look in their eyes. A hollow, pleading expression that pierces right through me. They don't scream or cry. They just stand there, their small hands outstretched, whispering my name. "Help us," they'd murmur, their voices like the rustling of dry leaves. "Please, find us." I try to move, to speak, to do something, but my body is frozen, my voice trapped in my throat. I can only watch as they fade back into the shadows, leaving me in that suffocating silence. I'd wake up in a cold sweat, my heart hammering against my ribs. The images of their faces would be seared into my mind. I'd tell myself it's just a dream, just my overactive imagination getting the better of me. I'd try to shake it off, get a glass of water, and go back to sleep. But the feeling of dread would linger long after I woke up. It felt so real, so terrifyingly real. I started keeping a dream journal, sketching their faces, writing down every detail I could remember. A little boy with a bright red jacket. A girl with pigtails and a missing front tooth. Another boy clutching a worn-out teddy bear. One morning, after a particularly vivid dream, I was scrolling through the news on my phone, trying to distract myself. That's when I saw it. An Amber Alert. A photo of a little girl with pigtails and a missing front tooth. My blood ran cold. It was her, the exact same girl from my dream. The report said she'd vanished from a park the day before. I felt a wave of nausea wash over me. It couldn't be a coincidence. It just couldn't. I looked back at my journal, at the sketch I'd drawn just hours earlier. The resemblance was uncanny. I didn't know what to do. Should I call the police? What would I even say? "Hi, I had a dream about the missing girl you're looking for." They'd think I was crazy, or worse, a suspect. I decided to keep it to myself, telling myself it was a fluke, a 1 in a million chance. But then it happened again. A few nights later, I dreamt of a boy in a red jacket. The next day, his face was all over the news. Missing. Then the boy with the teddy bear. Same story. Every time a child from my dream appeared on the news, a piece of me fractured. The guilt was eating me alive. I felt like I was holding a piece of the puzzle, but didn't know what the full picture looked like. The dreams became more intense, more desperate. The children's whispers turned into urgent pleas. "He's coming back," they'd say. "You have to hurry. He keeps us in the dark." The abandoned house in my dreams became clearer too. I started noticing details. A crooked weather vane on the roof shaped like a crow. A single oak tree in the front yard with a tire swing hanging from a thick branch. I spent my days consumed by this waking nightmare, frantically searching online maps and news archives. I looked for reports of missing children in the region, trying to find a connection, a pattern. I cross-referenced the details from my dreams with real-world locations. I felt like I was losing my mind, teetering on the edge of obsession. My friends and family noticed I was withdrawn, exhausted. How could I explain that I was haunted by the ghosts of children I'd never met? One night, the dream shifted. It was longer, more detailed than ever before. I was standing outside the house this time. I could see the address, faded but still legible on the mailbox. 1489 Cedar Lane. A shiver ran down my spine. This was it. This was the detail I needed. I woke up with my heart pounding, the numbers echoing in my head. 1489 Cedar Lane. With trembling hands, I typed the address into a search engine. My breath hitched. The address existed. It was an old, foreclosed property on the outskirts of town, about an hour's drive from my apartment. An article from years ago described it as the old Holloway place, abandoned for decades after the family who lived there mysteriously disappeared. My mind was racing. Is this real? Is this where they are? I had to know. The weight of all those faces, all those whispered pleas, was too much to bear. I knew I couldn't go to the police with just a dream. They would dismiss me instantly. I had to go myself. I had to see if this place was real, if it matched the house that had been plaguing my sleep for months. It was a crazy, reckless idea, but I felt compelled, pulled by an invisible string connected to those children. I grabbed my keys, my phone, and the dream journal. As I drove, the sky turned a dark, bruised purple. The GPS led me down winding country roads, deeper and deeper into the woods. Finally, I saw it. Tucked away behind a row of overgrown trees, there it was, the house from my dreams. The crooked weather vane, the peeling paint, the single oak tree with the tires swaying gently in the wind. It was exactly as I had seen it night after night. My heart felt like it was going to beat out of my chest. This wasn't just a dream. It was real. I parked my car down the road and approached the house on foot. The air was heavy and still. The front door was boarded up, just like in my dream. I walked around to the back and found a cellar door, slightly ajar, with a heavy padlock hanging broken from its clasp. A wave of fear washed over me, so potent it almost made me turn back. But then I heard them, the faint, almost inaudible whispers. "Help us." I took a deep breath, pulled out my phone, and dialed 911. I gave the operator the address, my voice shaking. I told them I heard noises from inside an abandoned house and thought someone might be trapped. I didn't mention the dreams. I didn't need to. As I hid in the bush, watching the house, I saw the flicker of a flashlight from one of the basement windows. My blood ran cold. Someone was in there. Minutes felt like hours. Finally, I heard the distant wail of sirens. The sound grew louder and louder, a beacon of hope cutting through the terrifying silence. Red and blue lights flashed through the trees, bathing the decrepit old house in an ethereal glow. As the police cars pulled up, I saw a dark figure burst out of the back of Fee House and sprint into the woods. Officers swarmed the property, their voices cutting through the night. And then the dream I'd been having for months finally came to its conclusion, right there in front of my eyes. The officers emerged from the cellar, not with one or two, but with 5 children. They were pale and frightened, but they were alive. I saw the girl with the pigtails, the boy in the red jacket, the boy clutching his teddy bear. They were all there. As they were wrapped in blankets and led to safety, one of them, the little girl, turned and looked directly at me, hiding in the trees. She didn't say anything. She just gave me a small, knowing smile. And in that moment, I knew. The nightmares were finally over. I slipped away before anyone could see me. I never told anyone my side of the story. The news reported that the children were found thanks to an anonymous tip. The kidnapper was eventually caught. For me, life slowly returned to normal. but I'll never forget their faces. I still have the journal, a reminder of the months I lived in a nightmare. Sometimes I wonder why it was me, why I was the one who heard their calls. I don't have any answers, but every night when I close my eyes, I'm no longer met with terror. I'm met with silence, a peaceful, beautiful silence. And for that I am eternally grateful. Thank you for listening to my story. If you've ever had an experience you can't explain, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. And if you enjoyed this, please consider liking and subscribing for more strange stories. Stay safe out there.